So what's up, everybody? It's me, True Star Screamer. And we are looking at an actual requested review, believe it or not. Seriously, I read those comments, I see them. And we are looking at the Mezco 1/12 scale Snake Eyes figure. Now I know, this guy has already been covered by some of the greats, including D Amazing, including, well, I guess that Teammate 978 guy, he's pretty decent. So he got it too. But, so I'm not going to be going into the crazy, super, total depths of every single little accessory in hand and things like that. I admit it completely. So, this is not going to be like my Crow review or my Constantine review. So this, we're going to be constant overview of the things I like and the things I dislike. I do love this artwork, this packaging, using that old school style, this explosion on the back. They've been doing it with a lot of their figures. I do have Destro. I do have Roadblock, by the way. Destro, I think the one I got kind of messed up because his leg was loose. You know, it's a Mezco figure. We have amazing packaging. We have a ton of accessories, and I'll be talking about that. And some really cool effect pieces. But enough about the box. Let's get this guy out and see what all the hubbub is about, bub. I think I've used that one before. Oh well. Anyway, let's get this guy open. So here is Snake Eyes out of the packaging. And he also comes packaged with timber, which is very cool. Especially with, you know, it's nice not only to get a figure, but to get an animal companion. But actually, before we talk about Snake Eyes, I want to talk about timber here. He's decent. I am going to say this. This is going to sound sacrilege. Hasbro does it better. I loved Junkyard so much. Some of the nice things that Hasbro does with their dogs. And look at my Junkyard review. Check it out. I was a huge fan of it. The hips just don't move as much. There's a little bit of torso on here, which is okay. But he does have two alternate heads as well. You know, kind of a growling one and such. But look at this. He can barely look to the left or to the right. So, and definitely can barely look up and down. So while there's ball joints in here, they're very small, they're very subtle, and I'm just going to say it, Hasbro does a better animal. And as of late, Hasbro's been killing it with the animals. You know, the paws here are on little ball pigs, but the dog-like thing, it just doesn't quite work right. I mean, he's more than serviceable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying this is a bad animal by far. I've seen much worse. This could have been a slug, you know, not posable at all. The detail's great. The paint is beautiful. But I'm just saying, as a physical figure, Hasbro does those animals better. And I look forward to seeing more of them from that. Yeah, tail can either go up, down, doesn't go straight out. So, just something to keep in mind. But as a display piece, more than acceptable. Just a little surprised that I was getting better from a $35, $40 deluxe figure than I was from, you know, something that costs about $100. But let's talk about Snake Eyes. How am I going to put this? When I heard that Mezco was doing G.I. Joes, I think, of course, Storm Shadow was probably the #1 figure I was anticipated. Snake Eyes #2, Cobra Commander #3, Firefly #4, okay, it's actually Zartan #4, Firefly #5. Those are my top figures. And he's okay. He reminds me a lot of getting the Daredevil treatment with how his uniform is. The top looks really good. The pants are decent, but just again with how the Mezco stitches are, they just seem so, and I don't know how to put it, like saying large almost detracts from it. Again, he's fine. Something just feels just a little off to it. Now I think T-Man says it best, it helps when you put the accessories on him, and we're going to talk about those accessories. Posing is very, very rudimentary, very decent. Not too much of an ab crunch on there. You know, for a figure all in black, I love how the silver is done on the visor, but they made sure to put a little bit of a wash in there. The his ninja symbol. One day I'm going to learn how to say it. Prominent, which is great. No actual Joe gear on here, which is more than fine for me, though I wouldn't have minded that on the other shoulder. The details on the gauntlets are great. Combination of the matte versus the silver. I don't know, it's just the pants that kind of throw me off, that they just seem kind of... I don't know, I think I would have rather more of the spandex carried down to it. But this is all going to sound weird. It's cool that we got the Ninja Snake Eyes. I think I would have preferred if they led with the Commando one. Or gave us the Commando alternate parts. Like change out the helmet to the goggles and mask and stuff. So these are just a few things for me. He has have a holster on here. He's got one pinhole in the back and a place to hold his sword. And this is kind of important because you're going to see he has a lot of gear. And what I mean by a lot of the gear, I do like the fact we have two sword styles to pick from. The Ninja Clan one, or the basically the Field Command sword, which is great. He's got a dagger. He also we see they do have an effect here. Then he also has his pistol, which can go in the holster here, as well as machine gun and two sword knives, which are really cool. Notice I've got all this stuff all packaged up, and there's a reason for it. A bunch of throwing stars, a bunch of grenades, a bunch of throwing knives, kunais, and a broken staff. Here is my biggest complaint out of all this. This is actually, like, I have the Blade figure. I love the Blade figure. But I can't put any of this stuff on him. With the exception of the scabbard and the pistol. And maybe that dagger. I'll have to see if it's, if that fits in the back. He does not have these pouches here. I can't put the kunais in there. He's got the grenades on his harness here. So I've got one grenade for him to throw. I can't have him stash the broken staff or the throwing stars. So while I can have him pose with them, which they'll look really cool and great for photos, I can't really put any of this gear on him. I know this is a weird complaint, but again, that's one of the things I love about the Classified series. I would have at least liked to be able to stash the little hand swords on him. I've got a place to put the pistol, yay, but a backpack of some kind would have been kind of cool. And I know, this is a weird complaint, I've got too much stuff, but maybe a briefcase to carry this stuff in or something. Of course, we got the array of Mezco hands, which are pretty neat, from the karate chops to the stuff to throw the throwing stars and hold the weapons and everything you could want. I do want to highlight this one, though. I love this throwing star hand. This looks absolutely awesome. It's just for the one hand, and I get why they did that, but we can just go ahead and, it's a Mezco. Oops, sorry, Timber. Just pops right in, and I love it. I freaking love this. This looks so good. This is photogenic. I hope to see this effect in other things. They also have one, it's just stuck in the other package right now, I can't get to it, for him throwing a grenade. But this is possibly the greatest throwing star effect I have seen in any figure. I know Quick Kick has one, but this is it. This is the standard. I don't know if their Gambit does this with cards. If he does, I definitely need to get that Gambit. But I absolutely love this effect. It's just, I actually think I would have preferred just having this effect versus having 6 throwing stars, because this looks that much cooler. Maybe I would have had one to have in his other hand or something like that. But still, I love this effect. I mean, geared up, he looks absolutely awesome. Look at that. I mean, and I love that we do get the effect on there. Yes, they've given us more effects. Yes, but this is more than acceptable. I mean, I always like that burst effect they do with machine guns, but if you've got one Mezco that has it, you know, you can trade them among others, which is always a good thing. I do like how they keep their effects universal with their stuff. So as you get one, it just adds to it all. Which, of course, gives you a reason to keep buying them over and over and over. But I digress. I think he's more than acceptable. I mean, he is definitely up to the Mezco standard. He is going to photograph beautifully. I don't think I'm going to do the full photo array for this guy this time. But I'll probably be using him for future reviews. Maybe if I can get my hands on the Storm Shadow. I was able to score a deal from this guy. No, I'm not going to say what I did, but I did not pay retail for him. So I am more than pleased with my purchase. I would probably say don't go, if you are desperate for him and you are having to go for the aftermarket, I would not spend more than 10% above the asking price for him, just to be honest. I mean, unless you're an absolute diehard one, but don't forget there are plenty of Snake Eyes available, especially from Hasbro. So again, good figure. I don't think it's changed my world per se. Timber, decent. Again, Hasbro I think does that one better, and I know that sounds sacrilege to say. Now, I'm not saying Hasbro is better than this. This is still, these accessories are gorgeous, especially for a 1/12 scale. But if you are, you know, obviously if you're collecting the Mezco line, you're kind of in for a penny, in for a pound. So, I think he'll look good. He'll look good with 1/12 scale motorcycles. He'll look good with regular Hasbro vehicles or other 1/12 scale stuff. So, again, if you're a diehard Snake Eyes fan, absolutely get it. If you're a casual, yeah, I wouldn't break. I would just say this would not be the one to get into Mezco with, if that makes sense. I think there are better Mezcos to get into the line with. But that's my 2 cents. But let me know your opinions down below. That's what the comment section's for. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We're getting, you know, inching that much closer to the 500. But most importantly, as always, until next time, take care. Peace.